Hi, Lorene. How are you doing today?
Good, and you?
I'm doing good. So, how has your last week been?
It's been good. Been keeping up with the hygiene, and I have been talking to some of my friends, but sometimes I get scared because I feel like my friendships won't work.
Okay, so is that something we should talk about today?
Yeah.
All right, so this past week, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being it was the best week ever, and 1 being it was the worst week ever, where would you say your week was?
5.
A 5? Okay, so right halfway in between. All right, so just like every other session, we have about 30 minutes together today. So we're going to go over some of the things, some of the goals that we set last week, and then we can maybe come up with some new goals and see, depending on how those are doing, and see what's new going on with you, and then go from there. Sounds good?
Yep.
All right, so the goals that we had last week, do you remember what they were?
Yeah. I needed to make sure my hygiene is up, and I also, if my brother ever is mean to me, to talk to my mom.
Okay. So, were you able to remember your chart, your hygiene chart this time?
Yes.
Okay, can I look at it? Let me get
Yes.
it out. Okay, great. So let's see. So it looks like you were able to do everything this week.
Mhm.
And how do you feel after being able to do all those things?
I feel good.
You feel good?
Yep.
And do you remember the deal that we had if you got everything done?
I get a Twix bar.
Yeah, so I will give that to you at the end of our session, but how do you think that helped motivate you to have yourself have a prize at the end of the week?
Yes.
Yeah. So for next week, obviously I'm not going to be here forever to give you a Twix bar every week. So I was thinking maybe we could think of a surprise that you could almost give yourself, a way that you can reward yourself at the end of the week and motivate yourself to do it, so that I'm not the one motivating you, but you can really push yourself to do better.
Okay.
Do you have any ideas of what kind of things you like that you might be able to treat yourself to at the end of the week when you did all of your hygiene chart?
Maybe some bookmarks for all the books I've gotten at the library.
Okay, and would you buy yourself bookmarks or make yourself a bookmark?
I'll make myself a bookmark.
Make yourself a bookmark?
Yeah.
So maybe you could spend time with the librarian at the end of the week and you guys could make a bookmark together if you got everything done?
Yep.
Alright, cool. So do you want me to talk to the librarian about that surprise?
Yeah.
Would you be okay with me talking to her and kind of telling her what we're doing a little bit about the
Yes.
hygiene?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so I'll write that down and I can talk to her. So, bookmarks. Now, how has things been going at school with your friends at school?
It's been going better. Kids don't tease me as much anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the hygiene really is working.
Mm-hmm.
So, yep.
And what about the 3 peers that you wanted to talk to? Have you been still talking to them this week?
Yeah, we're good friends.
You're good friends.
Hang out at recess.
Okay, cool. And so you're feeling a little bit better about working with other friends at school?
Yes.
You said you might be afraid that they're not going to last?
Yeah, because I don't know if I don't know if they're gonna last.
So what makes you think that they won't last?
Because I don't know, they might go with the other kids. But I still have those 2 other girls that I talked to at lunch.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think would make them go with the other kids and not be your friend anymore?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's because the other kids, like, you know how you used to describe that the other kids were like the cool kids?
Yeah.
So do you think because you don't consider yourself one of the cool kids that maybe you don't think they'll stay around?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's think about, so what are some things about you that make yourself cool? Because I think everyone's cool in their own way.
Mm-hmm.
So what are some things that you think make you cool in your own way?
I can read fast.
You can read fast.
I can do gymnastics.
Mm-hmm.
My desk is always clean in the classroom. I'm nice. And that's about it.
You don't think there's anything other good things about you?
Did I say gymnastics?
Mm-hmm.
I'm good at gymnastics. all I can think of.
That's all you can think of?
Yep.
I think from the little time that I have gotten to know you that you seem like you're a very caring person and you always seem to care about, consider other people's feelings and consider what other people are going through, whether it be your brother or your mom or your dad or the kids at school. You're always thinking about other people before yourself. And I think that's something that makes you a really great friend. And that's one of the reasons that I think that you will be able to keep these friendships. If you keep thinking about the good things about yourself instead of like putting yourself down, then you can start to see all the reasons why these other students are so lucky to have you as a friend.
Thanks.
You're welcome. So do you think that, what about this week? You know how we have you write in your journal every week. So what about this week? Although I still want you to kind of track the times where you're not feeling like you're fitting in or when you're feeling lonely or when things are going on at home. But what about if you took some time to write some positive entries? So what if you wrote times where you were very proud of yourself or when you did something that you really liked, and you can start thinking about all the great things about you. So you're always thinking about those things as well.
Okay.
You think you could try that?
Yeah, I can try that.
So I want you to try to write at least one entry this week that's positive things about yourself.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to put that down. Okay, so the next thing that we talked about last week was meeting with your mom, talking with your mom about what was going on with your brother.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to tell me a little bit about how that went? Were you able to do it?
Yeah, she was in a good mood. She came home from work, and then I just sat down with her in the living room, and I told her, and she said that she would speak to my brother separately when I'm not around.
Mm-hmm.
So it went well.
That's good. And so do you think the role play helped
Yeah,
you in doing that?
That did help.
And how did you notice if she got a chance to talk to your brother? Have things been different with him?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
You want to tell me a little bit more about that?
Well, he's a bit more quiet now if I'm playing video games with him, so maybe he's just trying to not put his anger on me. Maybe there's something else bothering him. I don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just trying to be calm.
And those seem like good things?
Yes and no. Yes, because he'll stop putting the anger on me, but no, because we don't know what's wrong with him.
Okay, so you're worried that there might be something bigger wrong with him. Okay, so I'm just going to write this stuff down as we go, so I just make sure I remember all the important things. So, but you have been fighting less, right?
Yep.
Okay, that's good. And then the last goal that we had was for you to go to the play group with other children who have parents who had to go away. So was your mom able to bring you to the play group this past week?
Yeah, it was fun.
It was fun. And what kind of things, tell me about it, what kind of things did you do there?
We did arts and crafts.
Mm-hmm.
We played a lot of games. I learned a new game. It's called Ninja.
Oh, how do you play that game?
You all stand in a circle, and then you have to put your hands up. And then after that, if someone taps this hand, then you have to move it, and then you have to tap somebody else's hand so that each person that does that in a circle, you end up in a ninja position.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Was it fun?
Yeah.
Good. So what other kinds of things did you do there?
What else did we do? We had story time, and we had like an egg toss,
Mm-hmm.
and that's pretty much it.
And did your brother and sister go with you?
No.
No, they didn't go. Were they just uninterested in it?
Yeah, they want to stay at home.
Okay. Now at the playgroup, were you able to talk to anyone about your dad? Did you get a chance to open up about that?
Sort of. I just said that he's not around, and I think that maybe he could be in jail or something for something. So.
And who did you tell this to?
I just said it.
You just said it out loud?
Yeah.
And was everyone sharing at this time?
Yep.
Okay. So what did some of the other kids say?
They said that, yeah, they think their dad's in jail too.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And how did it make you feel to be around people that experience the same things?
I'm not alone.
You're not alone.
Yeah.
So it made you feel a little bit like better that you had people to relate to?
Mhm.
And were you able to make some friends at the playgroup?
Yes.
Good. So do you think that's something that you will go back to?
Yep.
And did your mom did your mom seem like she liked it?
Yeah, she liked it.
Good. So that's good that that worked for you. So now it looks like this past week I want to congratulate you because you did really great in meeting all of your goals.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So now we can kind of update our goals so that, when you first came in, the first thing that you said you wanted to do was make some friends at school and make it so that they weren't bullying you anymore. So we were able to work on your hygiene and we were able to have you reach out to some kids, and so we were able to complete that goal. So now we can come up with another goal if you're interested in doing that.
Okay.
So now you have some friends and you're not feeling as lonely, what's something else that you think, if you could wake up tomorrow and you could live in the absolutely perfect world, what would your life be like?
I guess there's something wrong with my sister too.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that kind of changes a little bit.
So your sister would be happy.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
My dad will come home from jail.
Mm-hmm.
And me feeling like my friends won't leave me because I'm not cool.
Okay.
So
Now, one of these things, well, actually, these things seem so your sister would be happy, your dad would be home, and your friends won't leave you. Now, these things are kind of about like what other people were doing. But if you were waking up and you could control things that were happening in your life and things that you were feeling, what would you change? So not necessarily changing things about other people, but changing things that are directly in your life.
Like with change my eating habits.
Mm-hmm.
I guess to eat healthier. Eating habits. That's all I can think of right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what would make you want to eat healthier?
So that I can be more in shape for gymnastics.
So you can do better in gymnastics.
Mm-hmm.
So you would want to be a better athlete then.
Mm-hmm.
If you, in a perfect world, you would be a better athlete. Now with your friends won't leave. So it sounds like from what we talked about before, your fear of your friends leaving is because you don't really feel that, you're not that confident in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So what if in a perfect world would you be confident?
Okay.
You would be confident? Yep. So you see what I mean? What other characteristics would you have? So you would be confident, you would be a good athlete. Can you think of one more?
I'm already nice. So.
And it could be something that maybe you're already good at, but you could be better at, or maybe you want something that you have a lot of, like, okay, for example, for me, I have a lot of stress sometimes. So in a perfect world, I would have a little bit less stress. Mm-hmm. So it could be less of something or more of something. You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. So is there anything you have in your life that you wouldn't want to have as much, that you want a little bit less of, or something that you don't have enough of that you would want a little bit more of?
I guess more like unity or togetherness at my house.
Okay. So you would want to feel united and closer with your family?
Mm-hmm.
So what if we use these three things and we want to create, obviously we know everything can't be perfect, but we want to create your perfect world. So we want to create a world or a place that you can be a great athlete and you can be confident and you can feel close and united with your family. So what if these were some of the things that we focused on for the next part of our work together?
Okay.
So starting with eating healthier, what are some things you think you can do? What things do you do now you think you should stop doing? What are some things you can start doing?
I should start drinking more water. I drink a lot of soda and juice.
Mhm.
Eat more vegetables and I eat a lot of fruit, but I don't eat enough vegetables. And yeah, less candy.
Okay, so how much candy do you think you eat a week?
Maybe one every other day, maybe.
One every other day. So what if we limited to one candy bar every week for this week?
Okay.
So that means only one candy bar this week.
Okay.
And then you're going to only drink water. And an important part about being healthy is drinking a lot of water. So do you have like a big water bottle at home?
Yes.
So if you take a big water bottle, and I can get you a picture of it later before you leave, you can draw lines on it. So like, this is a bad example because it's soda, but I'll show you on my bottle. So you draw a line like right there, and that's what you have to drink by 8 o'clock. And then right here, that's what you have to drink by 10 o'clock, and here's what you have to drink by 3 o'clock, and it shows you how much water you should drink throughout the day. So what if you did that, and you could kind of keep yourself accountable, and you can look at the time and be like, oh, I need to finish this water by this time, and that could help you be a little bit healthier.
Okay.
Would you want to try that?
Yep.
Okay, so I can give you that one, the sheet to put on your water bottle. And more veggies. Do you have a lot of vegetables at home?
No, not
You
a
don't?
lot. My mom says vegetables are very expensive
Oh,
at the market.
Okay, very expensive. So what kind of food do you have at home?
I have mostly fruit. I have chips. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe we can figure out a way to get some healthier food at home. What kind of things do you eat for dinner when you go home for dinner?
Let's see, rice or mashed potatoes, lasagna.
Okay. So maybe we could find a way to get your family some vegetables. And if we got vegetables, then you could add a vegetable with those dinners, because those aren't bad dinners, but vegetables with it would be good.
Yeah.
So I will talk to some people in the community and see if there's a way. I know there's some resources that they can deliver food. One is Quincy Crisis Center, that they sometimes will deliver food, and it's basically a what do you call it? Like a food pantry, and they have a bunch of different kinds of foods for people who are in need. So maybe there's a way that once a week your mom could go pick up vegetables if that's what she needed, and then you guys can have that at home. So that's something. Would you be okay with me contacting your mom about that?
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Okay, so I will contact her about that and talk to her. So those are going to be your 3 goals for eating healthier, and these are all things that you can track in your journal. So then the next thing is being more confident. So we talked about that a little bit with doing a journal entry about positive things about yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what are some other ways you think would help you feel more confident?
I guess building the confidence to like be more like positive,
Mm-hmm.
so that I don't feel like I'm gonna lose my friends to the cool kids.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to do that.
So be more positive. I think a major part of being positive is it's really easy to worry about the future and worry about what's going to happen next. But I want to really encourage you to be able to enjoy the moment. And that can be hard, but like when you're playing with your friends or when you're talking with your mom, like just be in that moment and try to, like, if you catch yourself wandering off to, oh, well, what's going to happen next? Just try to bring your mind back and be like, no, like I'm going to focus on what's going on right now. And I think if you're focusing on more what's happening right now, then you won't have as much time to worry about what's going to happen in the future. Because some things are out of our control. Sometimes bad things do happen, and we know that, but sometimes bad things don't happen, and this could be one of those instances where you do get to keep them as friends, and you don't want to waste so much time worrying about if you are or not. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And I think another thing that can help you with that is, I know you can correct me if I'm wrong, but sometimes when people say bad things, I tend to remember the bad things more than I remember the good things.
Mm-hmm.
So for now, just to start, do your friends ever give you compliments?
Yeah.
So what kind of things do they say to you?
They say I smell nice,
Mm-hmm.
so that's something different. They say that I'm really good at gymnastics and how I'm smart in class.
Oh no. So always
They say I'm
happens.
smart in class and stuff.
They say you're smart in class. So what if we have, in your notebook, make a page just for this week, And every time someone gives you a compliment, you write that down. So you write down, if they say you're smart, you can say, Sarah told me I'm smart, or Jesse told me that I smell good today. And you can write down those compliments. So in those moments when you're worrying, you can pull yourself back right into the moment, and you can look at this list and say, even though I'm afraid, and it's okay to be afraid, even though I'm afraid that I'm going to lose my friends in the future, right now I'm going to look at, these are all the things that they like about me. And maybe that's not going to happen. Maybe I'm just scared.
Okay.
So do you want to try that? Do you think that might help?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll have that. That's going to go. These are a lot of goals now.
There's a lot.
List of nice things. And the last one is to feel united or closer with your family. So what makes you feel distant from your family?
Let's see. When my sister is sometimes like drunk.
Mm-hmm.
When my brother's angry, then my mom's at work, so I'm just there.
Okay. So now you said the things with your brother getting angry is a little bit better, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about your sister. So what do you mean by drunk?
You know, like she drinks, adult drinks,
Mm-hmm.
and she's drunk.
And so what does she act like when that happens?
She acts like she can't stand in one place. She's like all over the place. She trips.
Mm-hmm.
Like she talks funny too. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And does your mom know that your sister drinks?
Yes.
And what does your mom say about it?
She doesn't really say much. She actually let my sister drive me somewhere while drunk. So
She did. And when did this happen?
last week.
Last week.
Mhm.
And how did you feel when that happened?
I was scared
What scared you?
because she doesn't know. She's not a good driver when she's drunk. She was all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't wearing her seatbelt.
Were you wearing a seatbelt?
Yes, I was.
Okay. So you know that can be dangerous sometimes to drive while drunk.
Mm-hmm.
Because what happens is when you drink alcohol, it slows down the way your brain works.
Mm-hmm.
So your reaction time is a lot slower than it would normally be. And that's not good to do when you're driving. Now, did your mom know that she was... Oh, you said your mom told her to drive you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so do you remember in the beginning that we talked about confidentiality
Yes.
and keeping you safe, and that was going to be one of my main priorities, to make sure you're safe?
Mm-hmm.
So one of the areas that sometimes the confidentiality has to pause for a minute is when you're in a situation where you're not safe and your parents know about it, because it's important that all the adults in your life are keeping you safe. So I may need to have a conversation with your mom, and I'm probably going to have a conversation with my boss as well to kind of decide where we go from here. But I just want you to know it doesn't mean that I don't want you to think that you can't trust me or you can't talk to me, that I'm really doing these things because I want you to feel protected.
Okay.
And I want you to feel safe. So are you okay with me talking to your mom about this? All right, so we'll probably talk to her at some point this week. And you're not going to be involved in that, so you may not even know anything about it. But I just want you to know that it's not okay that you were put in that position. I'm really sorry that you had to be scared like that. But that going forward, you always have you can always say no. You can, if your sister comes home drunk and you feel uncomfortable, you can go to your room, or you can just say, no, I don't want to get in the car this time. And I think that would be a safe option for you. Do you think that's something you're willing to try?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm going to write that down and make sure that I talk and make sure that you're okay. Now, is there anything else you want to say about that? Or are you okay with everything I just told you?
Mm-hmm.
And you understand?
Yep.
Okay. So outside of that, it seems like we have some good goals for this next week. There's a lot of them, but here you can take this back home with you and you can do another hygiene chart and make sure you add all those positive entries in your journal. And keep doing good in school and with friends, and I'm really glad that you're doing a little bit better. So I hope that we can start working on this healthy eating and your confidence this next week.
Thank you.
That sounds good.
Yep.
Do you have any questions before we finish?
Nope.
All right, well, you can head back to class and I'll see you next week.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.